Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NWA Extra Innings, episode number 3, the playoff preview. We're about 2 hours away from first pitch of the first playoff game of 2020. Cue the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 3, the playoff preview episode. It should be a really fun postseason. We're here with Bruno. Bruno, how you doing?
Doing great. Ready to get this postseason underway. You can see the fall weather coming in. It's beautiful outside, about 90 degrees, so Let's get it started.
Yeah, it's going to be a great evening of whiffs here at Ballman Yards. It'll be the committee versus the Orioles in the wild card game, and that game should be coming out a couple days after this video comes out. So, first things first, let's get into one storyline from each team on the season. I'll go first with the RGCVs. They were like 1-9 to start the season, really rough start, and then Isaac Noel out of nowhere comes up, pulls King Arthur's sword out of the stone, and just starts dealing for the RGCVs, leading them all the way to the number 2 seed in the playoffs. An absolutely ridiculous run. Isaac has put the team on his back pitching-wise. So is there anything you want to speak to about that?
No, I mean, you nailed the hammer on the head right there. the nail on the head, or whatever the saying is. But, no, you said it perfectly, though. That was exactly what happened for the RGCV. Great comeback season for them. Isaac pulling the train along. So, Alright, so Baja, storyline for them is their team depth. They're probably the deepest team in the league, led by John Satrowski, their pitcher, but up and down the lineup, they have great hitting. You have Charlie Shark, mid-season addition, signed as a free agent. Will Hainig, who could possibly be breakout player of the year. He's had an amazing year, his best by far. And then several other players, I can't remember them all off the top of my head, no offense, but they've all had a great season, a great up and down the lineup, and it's going to make it tough for any pitcher to put them down in orders because they're so deep up and down the lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. And Charlie Shark, signing him mid-season might have been the turning point in their season. He's the guy they need. They have a lot of people who get on base, great on-base percentage, and then they need that one guy who can just put the balls out of the park, and he's that guy. Another thing is John Noel. He has been insane this year. Pitching-wise, he's probably the best number 2 in the league. He's definitely up there in conversation. And then, I mean, when you have a great number 2, you could go 4-0 any week. So he's really helped their team. Again, their team just gets on base. Will Handy's done a great job this year. Look out for Baja Blast. They'll be playing the RGCV in the semifinals. All right, now we're going to go with the Want Some More Oreos. Obviously, it's been a year that they didn't really want to happen, but, I mean, I think this might have helped them. I think they have a lot of motivation now to come out in the playoffs strong. The storyline for them is finishing games. They've been in a lot of close games this year. A lot of games are coming down to the wire. Last inning, they had the lead and then walks and stuff. But I just think they just need to finish games. I think if they can finish and get on base, get a couple of hits off Patrick in the wild card game, they can be a whole different team. You've seen them be dominant against some of the best teams. Beach Boys, they were right there with. They beat the committee earlier in the season. They beat the RGCVs. They are a really good team, but they just need to figure out how to finish games.
Yeah, that's 100% right. I think this team they were on the wrong side of a lot of close games, and that was probably luck had something to do with that, I'm sure. So you have to think eventually some of those bounces and some of those plays will start to go in their favor, because you look at the scoreboard from this season, so many games they lost by 1 run. So they're right there. They can hang with any team in the league. All right, so next we have the Beach Boys, and I think the top storyline for them is, can they stay motivated? You gotta remember, this team clinched first place basically the 3rd week of the season. They were on top of the world, just cruising along, and you've seen in past, especially in professional leagues like the Phillies in 2011, they clinched 3 months ahead of time, and they get into the playoffs and they fall apart because it's like starting a whole new season again. They've got to find motivation. So my storyline for the Beach Boys is, they had a lot of regular season success, but can they bring that into the playoffs? Can they keep their dominant pitching performance going? You probably will with Paul out there, but you never know. The playoffs is a whole different animal from anything in the regular season. It's unlike any other professional league in the United States. So I'm interested to see how they do. The number 1 seed has never won the World Series, But this team could easily win the World Series, but they could also fall short in a matter of a click. So I think it's just for them, it's just staying motivated, staying hungry, knowing what's at stake.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. They're a really good team, probably the best team NWA's ever seen. Them or the 2018 RGCV. So, I mean, they definitely have the stuff to do is to see if they have the motivation and the talent to. So, then the last team we'll go into is the committee. The committee, what a franchise these last 2 years. But this year has been a whole different thing they've never seen before. Tough year. They didn't even go 500 this year. Patrick struggled. Offense struggled. Everything was seeming to go wrong. But if there's one thing you need to know about the committee, they always find a way. So will this year be the year? Our storyline for the committee is, can they find their postseason glory? I don't know if they can, considering what they've done this year. But the committee has done it the last 2 years, so I wouldn't be surprised they do it again. But the storyline is their offense has been struggling. Can they find the playoff run again?
Yeah, I think this had to be the most disappointing regular season team. And, oh, by the way, we're looking for their offense. If you've seen the committee's offense around, it's been missing for quite some time. So I think they scored like 2 runs in 4 games last week. So
yeah,
they need to step it up offensively if they're going to have any chance. And like they've done the past years, it's just opportunity, taking a chance when they have it and loading up the bases and hopefully getting a dinger at the right time. So
absolutely. Wiffle ball is a game where you only need one key moment. There's a lot of times where you get guys on base, one hit's all it takes sometimes to win ball games. So that is your storylines for the season, the regular season, postseason. Now we'll go into the second of 3 segments of the show. We'll be going into the award finalists. These will be the 3 finalists for each category, and then we'll have players and stuff vote for those players in about a week or so. So let's get into that. All right, now for the commissioner's pick, top 3 from each category that people will vote on for the awards this year. We'll start off with Rookie of the Year. The 3 that will be in contention will be Josh Noel leading off for the Beach Boys. Great season, one of the best rookie seasons we've ever seen. He could do it all, pitch, hit, everything. Wyatt Linneman came in for the committee. He's hit a lot of home runs this year. So he's in there as well. And then Ethan Jones, another Beach Boys player, gets on base, clutch, gets big hits. So those are your 3 rookies of the year. We'll see who wins it, but just being in that category is a great award there. So Zach, we'll see what we got for Cy Young this year.
We got Paul Noel. He's got to be front runner so far. He's had a phenomenal season. Only lost 1 game all year on the mound. So he pulled the Beach Boys along to a phenomenal season. He was great all the time. Then you have John Satrowski. What a rebound year for him. He won the Cy Young in 2018, 2019. He wasn't able to come as much. This year he's back to his old self, just throwing strikes left and right, just getting lots of outs. So then we have Isaac Noel, who, as Patrick mentioned before, saved the season for the RCIAs. He's been phenomenal, just throwing lots of heat out there in the mound, and very tough to hit. So
now the most improved category, we'll go to there. First off, we have Will Hainig. I mean, if you see on the screen here, again, I haven't finished the stats yet, but they'll be on the screen. He basically doubled in every category from the year before. He's been very clutch, hitting clutch home runs left and right. Hit 2 off of Paul Noel in there, and Paul Noel's 1 loss this year. So, Will, very clutch player. I think he's improved dramatically from last year. John Noel, another guy who's improved like crazy. He's the Baja Blast. He can deal with the best of them, pitching wise. Hitting, he's batting like somewhere in the high 3s. So another great year for John Noel, improved dramatically. And then last one, James Dobb. He's been the offensive powerhouse for the Orioles this year. Again, just look at the screen. I mean, the stats, they don't lie. So he's had a great year. Having an even better year from last year when the pitching has improved dramatically. That's even better for them. So a great year by all 3 of those. Those are the 3. We'll probably make an Instagram post with the winners of those awards later on, but those are the 3. And then Bruno, give us our MVP candidates.
All right, so our MVP frontrunners. First is Paul Noel, who obviously you've heard a lot about him. As we mentioned before, he's led the Beach Boys to one of the greatest seasons in NWA history. So then our next frontrunner for MVP is John Satrowski, as we mentioned again. You've heard of him a lot in this video, so he's just been having a great comeback year, and he's really led the Bajas to think it was number 3 seed, but they could have easily had the 2nd seed. I believe it came down to a tiebreaker, so they were right there, and John led them the entire way. Then we have David Noel, another Beach Boy, who's just had an incredible season, especially at the plate. This is his best offensive season so far. He made contact all the time, hits lots of home runs, batting around 480 or something like that, nearly 500. So, and you rarely see that in a league like this where pitching is so dominant. So, he has really led the Beach Boys offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are your three MVPs. Now we'll go to the last segment of the show, the playoff preview. Let's get into it. Playoff preview time, folks. We'll start off with the 2 versus 3 seed matchup. It's going to be the RGCB versus the Baja Blast. The committee has always made the 2 seed, and the 2 versus 3 seed has always been a blowout. Every year it's been a sweep, I believe. But I think this year's the year it's going to be going into a Game 4, Game 5 situation. These two teams have what it takes to win the World Series. The Baja Blast can play with the best of them. It's a 1-game difference. The last game of the regular season, those two played, and it was like a 1-run game or something like that to decide who would get that seed. So I think it's going to be a really good game. It'll be Isaac versus John, 2 of the Cy Young candidates going at it. So I think that'll be a really fun game to watch. What's your little highlight keynotes for that series?
It's going to be a great series. I have no clue who's going to win this series. You look up and down the lineup. Each player, player for player, they're about equivalent as far as batting average and talent goes. So, this is really a toss-up. I'd have to say it's definitely going to go to Game 5. I don't see this series being any shorter. Both of these teams are so good. The pitching is so good. A lot of it, though, I think is going to be how Pepsi Park is playing that day. Yeah. Because if the wind's blowing in, if you get a run, you could be winning the game 1-0. But if I had to make a bet, which I do, I'd have to say it's going to be a very low-scoring series that goes the distance.
If I have to make a prediction on this one, I'm going to go with the Baja Blast for experience sake. Isaac, I'm guessing, will probably be the starting pitcher, and he's never pitched in the playoffs before.
Yeah, that's true.
For experience sake, I'm going to go with the Baja Blast in this one, but I think it's going to go 4-5, and I wouldn't be surprised if either team pulled it through in this one. So now for the wild card series, it will be the committee versus the Orioles, the 2-time reigning champs committee in the wild card game. Sounds weird to say, but what is it going to really take for them to win this one?
Well, let's be honest here. Neither of these teams wanted to be in the wild card coming this season. The Orioles had high expectations. The committee coming off back-to-back World Series, they wanted nothing to do with the wild card. But that said, both of these teams are incredibly motivated because they want to show that they deserve to be in the divisional series. So I think this will be a really well-fought battle. I think it's going to come down a lot to hitting because both pitchers are so good. Michael and Patrick are really good. So it's going to come down to which team can take care of opportunities as far as walks and clutch hitting goes. So in past years, it's been the committee, but this is the first year of the Orioles. So we haven't seen them in their playoff mode yet. So, and Michael last year on the special case, he had a real good playoff. So I don't know exactly how it's going to go. I'd have to say it's probably going to be over in 2 games, just because we've seen in past years most of these series, while they're very close in score, the games don't go back and forth as much as we think. So it remains to be seen. But yeah. I think it's going to be close scores, but I think we'll see a team win in 2 games.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Here we go, the start of the 2020 NWA Postseason, brought to you by Alien Pros. Bat grips, make sure you get some 15% off. Use code NWA. They're great bat grips. You'll see them being used all throughout the playoffs. So again, thank you guys for watching. The season's not over yet. It's just getting started. It's going to be really fun. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.